dan gaan we verder met onze volgende gast alweer. Greg Peterson. We gaan eerst even een filmpje van hem zien.
Working farmer style. Farmer style. We are the Peterson Farm Bros, and we're farming and we grow it. We love agriculture and we want the world to know it. Farming is a way of life with many different flavors, being stewards of the gifts God gave us. Out here on the farm,
we're running green John Deere tractors.
out here on the farm,
We work in many weather factors.
out here on the farm,
We're working hard to raise your food.
out here on the farm, on the family farm. Agriculture is so important to me and should be to you. It means the world and will never ever cease to be. We need to eat. We all need farmers to provide us with the food, 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 food. Working farmer style. Farmer style. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Farmer style. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Hey, for my cattle. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Hey, from the field. Work, 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 work. Hey, 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 hey.
Farmers are working harder than you might imagine, but that is just because we have a job that is our passion. We will work sun up to sundown time and time again, as if working for the Lord and not for men.
Out here on the farm,
We get away from lights of cities.
out here on the farm,
The countryside is nice and pretty.
out here on the farm,
We work together as a family.
out here on the farm, on the family farm. Agriculture is so important to me and should be to you. It means the world and will never ever cease to be. We need to eat. We all need farmers to provide us with the food, 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 food. Working farmer style. Farmer style. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Farmer style. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Hey, for my cattle. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Hey, from the field. Work, 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 work. Hey, 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 hey.
Is what we feed our cattle, so they grow big and strong, and then become the food that keeps us living nice and long.
Our crops like corn and wheat help make diets complete. Without the farmers working, we would all be starving. You know what I'm saying? Working farmer style. Think a farmer. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style. Hey, for your food. Work, 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 work. Working farmer style.
Wow. So we've just seen a couple of movies, Greg. The first movie is where you were dancing together with your brothers.
If you want to call it dancing.
Yeah, dancing and singing and showing your farm mostly. So what's your biggest passion? Is it singing or is it the farm?
Oh, that's a tough question. I
Really?
think it's both. I love growing up on a family farm and being a farmer, but I'm a musician at heart, and I love the power that music has to communicate.
Yeah, so you actually, that's what you're doing right now in the movies. You're communicating towards consumers, the world, about what you do and why you're doing it, together with your brothers.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
should be fun.
yeah. We did very fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell in the videos we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So you arrived yesterday to the Netherlands just after visiting Germany.
Yes.
Yes. So you're traveling around the world just now, or what's going on?
Yeah, so these YouTube videos that we started making in 2012 have gotten an incredible popularity, not only in the United States, but all over the world. And so I actually travel, when I'm not working on the farm, I travel all over the U.S. and even to other countries like Germany and the Netherlands, and to speak about what we're doing and issues in agriculture and what I'm passionate about, which is like food, agriculture, and the future.
Yeah. All right. So what do you do mostly now? Is it working at the farm or talking about the farm?
I spend about 2/3 of the year at home working on the farm with my
Right.
family. I spend about a third of the year, about 120, 130 days traveling and speaking, and when I'm traveling, I'm coming up with new content as well, and so it's two different jobs.
Yeah.
And I stay busy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. The next movie you just saw was the documentary from the young farmers in the Netherlands, the BAEK. They actually see you as their source of inspiration. What's that like?
That's an honor for me
Yeah.
to think that there are people in other countries who are inspired by what we're doing. I think that was very well done, very well put together. We don't use high tech equipment to film our videos. We use cell phones, and we edit them very simply.
Hmm.
But I think that's very well put together. I think they use nicer cameras than us, and they have better angles and everything. But it's a good presentation.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Nice. Um, why do you think it's necessary for the farmers or the people who produce food to do this?
I think for a long time in the world, people understood where food comes from, and they understood the purpose of farmers and of farming. But I think in today's culture and today's society, um, the general public, especially people in the cities, don't think about where food comes from. They don't think about who produces their food, and we see that in America. You talk to people from the cities and you tell them you're a farmer, they don't even know what that means. They
Wow.
their picture of farming is from 100 years ago, and so I think if we want to preserve our future the younger generation, if we want to be able to farm in the future, we have to let the public know why it's important what we do, and that's coming from the farmer's perspective, but from a cultural perspective, um, it's important to know where your food comes from, and it's important to think about your food because it's such a huge part of who you are, really. It's what you do every day. You eat food, and it's what fuels your existence.
Yeah, yeah. So it's for the farmers, it's about the license to produce, but for the entire world, it's actually important to know where your food comes from and what's inside your food. And
Yeah, and that's the connection. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone is connected to farmers because everyone eats food.
eats food.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Lynn Skeiters just arrived on our table. Welcome. Nice to have you here as well. Lynn, you are a member of the BAEK.
Yeah.
You are as well. You've seen Greg as an inspirational source.
Yeah, because
How,
we
how
have
did you start to think about the documentary and hey, this is what we should do as well?
we have seen the movies of Greg,
Yeah.
and we have the same issues here as you have in America. People in the cities don't know where their food is coming from. So we thought that we could make a movie, and on the same way you did, only we invited the citizens to our farms, so we get a good connection with them. So
Okay,
that's-
so you're not just making a movie to get that connection, but you're also already connecting people
Yeah.
while you're filming.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And how did it go? Because the movie's ready now. The
Yeah,
documentary.
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube just now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Very good. After all, we've got people together,
Uh-huh.
and they learn from each other. So the farmer learned from the citizen, from how is he looking to food, and the farms are the same thing, alleen dan.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's a bit tough to get it
Yeah.
all in English.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, but what you're saying is that you actually saw it worked, the connection
Yeah.
between the citizens and the farmers.
Yeah.
So you thought, well, I'm not going to sing. I'm just going to let other people do the job.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right.
It's much easier.
Yeah.
You don't want to sing.
I know.
A lot easier, yeah. All right. Geert, what did you think about the trailer and the
Yeah, no,
movie, Greg?
I was wondering the sort of difference maybe between the United States and Europe. Is there really in America a big difference, a big gap between citizens and farming? And is it now, because of you, is it closing now a bit or not?
Yeah, I think the gap has widened over the last several decades. It used to be that in like the 50s, it's like half of the population had a connection to farming. They knew someone who's a farmer. Now, farmers only represent 2% of the U.S. population, so it's very small. And so I think the gap has widened. I think our videos have done a really good job of starting a lot of conversations. I don't think it's taken the gap and made it small by any means. I think that's one of the reasons why I go speak all over the U.S. We're trying to get other people to do what we're doing and to get what you guys are doing, because it takes a group effort to narrow that gap, and it's good to start the conversations, because people just watching one YouTube video, that may not influence them more than just a little bit. But if they can start to have conversations with not only with farmers but with people involved in all forms of agriculture, we think that's a really good thing to have.
Yeah, now you see it in the Netherlands too. In the 50s, we had 1 of every 5 households was a farmer actually, and now it's only 1 out of every 100, so only 1%. So that's normal that the gap it's widening. But still, if I go biking 15 minutes, I'm in farmland, and that's not the same, I think, in the United States. If I live in the city, you have to bike. If you even you have to bike a couple of hours or a couple of days.
Yeah, depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
A lot of the United States is a very rural country.
Yeah.
And so like in Kansas, where I'm from, you see farmland everywhere. It's what the community is based around. But yeah, in the big cities.
And something like city farming, that's innovation power maybe? Is that going to connect civilians and farming, or is that just widening the gap because it's industrialized farming?
Are you talking like urban growing food in the
farm.
cities?
Yeah.
No, I think urban farming is a great idea. Just grow anyone who's growing their own food, whether it's in a big scale in the country or in small scale in the cities. I think that helps with the connection. And I think if people in the cities are growing their own food, even if it is just a small, that helps them appreciate what farmers are doing in the country.
How tough it is to grow food.
Yeah, to actually get aware of, wow, it's actually pretty cheap what I'm getting at
Yeah,
my
and
plate.
it's so convenient. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look throughout history, we've never had food so convenient. It's everywhere, It's so easy for us. and we don't think about everything that goes into it.
Yeah, yeah. So that awareness should come back again. So are you mostly talking at farmers organizations, or are you actually talking for consumers as well when you're traveling around the world?
Most of the things I speak at are to farming organizations, and that's more of a motivational, like, this
Yeah.
is my story. Hopefully, you can do some of the same thing. But my brothers and I, we've done several outreach events where there's more city people there, and I've been on quite a few panels in Washington D.C. and have talked with lobbyists and people like that. So it's a variety. It's
Yeah.
a mixture, but mostly to farm organizations.
Yeah, to inspire everybody to do the same or
Yeah, because
their own way of.
it takes more than a few people. That's my belief.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Than just three brothers at
Yeah.
the farm. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're actually curious what the people around here think about. How do we get that connection between the farmer and the civilians again, or the? What do you think? What do we need to get that connection?
Cake. Now
To
we have
reconnect.
a volunteer here. So
What I find fascinating is that nobody told you to start that YouTube films. I think it's your own idea. So I think we have to focus on the entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs have, when they wake up in the morning, they have a certain ambition and they have a certain dream, and then at a certain moment they do it. And also I think in Holland and in Europe we have perfect, really very strong entrepreneurs. So give them the opportunity to create new products, to do new marketing, new types of marketing, like you have done. I think Holland is the #1 food producer in Europe. So give the opportunity to the food entrepreneurs to think of new marketing strategies, to experiment with new, like viral marketing and all kinds of new types. I think that's a very good example of what you've shown us.
the entrepreneur in the lead. That's what he says. So
I want to respond to that because, well, a lot of things are already said because you said only the food entrepreneurs, but I think it's also good to look further than only the food entrepreneurs and the farm entrepreneurs, but also the youth in the cities to involve them, if I use the term correctly, because they are the target group that you want to reach on. So if you can get a way to involve them, then you can ask them the questions, and you can co-create a process or a project which you can have as it's early in the morning, where you can get the target you want to reach with, because they can give you advice about how to get the whole target group involved.
Is the response for your films, is it mostly coming from urban young people or from urban elderly?
It comes from all sorts of people. We get. I think our videos are very popular with the youth, even with kids. I think it's very educational for kids to see videos about farming, and even like high schoolers, college students, youth. It's the songs that we parody. That's the connection with them, and it's very positive response from most everyone. So it's hard for us to believe that our videos are watched by people not only all over the world, but of all ages and all backgrounds.
Yeah, and you're actually showing the real picture as well in your movies. So kids, well, they sing the song, but they also see what actually happens at your farm.
Yeah, and we try, when we film our videos, we try to be as authentic as possible. I mean, you're right. When we made our first video, we were making it for our friends. And so we wanted to show them what it was like on our farm, exactly. And we've tried to keep that pattern as we keep making more videos. Just be real, be honest, and that connects with people.
Yeah, and just act like you do it for your friends. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
And so now you're making more money with Video and traveling, or
Yeah,
with
what is it
farming?
like? What
new-
keeps the
a
balance
new,
up?
we call it a nieuw verdienmodel in Dutch.
A new way to
Yeah.
earn your income. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you talk about entrepreneur.
You
Yeah,
know,
If
you're
you'd
an
if you'd have
entrepreneur.
told me 5 years ago that I would make income from traveling the world and speaking, that's crazy. Isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah,
working,
there's ways, you find ways to. It's amazing how things fall into place, I guess.
Good on ya. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Greg and Linz, for
Yeah.
being here. Right, I think we can
Yeah.
go to the next guest.